Hello, NiceMinD here. Many of you is asking me how to build Bowazon for team versus team in the DCL rules. So in order to answer, I will show you in this short video how I set up my character, with what kind of items I use for certain matchups, how I put skills and so on. So for passive and magic, this is pretty standard for Bowazon. We have 27, I mean 19, but 27 with items in the critical strike. Dodge, avoid and evade is pretty personal things. I like to have few points in the dodge. I have 4 here and 19 into avoid to reach 69%, and 16 points here to reach 58%. So it's like 24 level. You can put up to 27 level, but it will change only 1%. So I just go for the javelin. Pretty standard. You have one in lightning fury and one in jab, and bow and crossbow. I like to have from 15 to 18 in the multiple shot. So I feel that this is sweet spot, like 15, 18. If you put too many points, you will run out with mana very fast. So it's also not good to put too many points. Of course, you max guided arrow, and this is optional. You put 1 point into strafe. Okay, so let's take a look at the stats. So strength, I put strength to wear enough to wear storm shield. Storm shield with minus 15% req. So this is 133 with items on Titans, and I like to have like more balance between dex and vitality. I know that many Bowazon they prefer to have more vitality, but for team versus team, I feel that more balanced Bowazon is a little bit better. I don't know. It depends on the personal preference. I feel that a little bit higher damage, a little bit higher attack rating may help you during the team versus team matchups. Okay, so now this is interesting part. As you can see, we have a lot of items, tons of items to switch off. So for team versus team, we can divide team into melee and ele. I will kick off with melee first. The typical melee team is Bowazon and Hammerdin. So this is like core for the melee, and you can have also necro in this team composition. So we call that concrete melee. So concrete melee is like Bowazon, which deals a lot of damage, Hammerdin with support, and necro, which also support to improve this damage. Versus this kind of team like concrete melee, I like to use Gaze, 160-60, and Verdungo, and also Storm as a shield. So as you can see, we have a lot of damage reduction. The second setup for this kind of composition, I know that some Bowazon prefer to wear 40, so they may wear 40, but in order to play with 40, you need to have 120-45, and you will need to have shadow or diamonds both. So this is like a second composition for the melee team. And for this setup, I have another gloves. I have gloves without 20 EAS, but here I have 3 life leech, and I also switch to another ring, which is 4 life leech. So I have together 7 life leech, and it provides me the hit indicator. When you hit someone, you just see the leg animation, and you will know that someone got hit. So if melee team don't have necro, you can drop storm shield. You don't need so much DR. You can wear, for example, swordback hole, or you can wear spike thorn. If they have druid, it's good to have some more life leg. So I always use Gaze and this kind of ring, like 4 life leech or even more knight life leech when I see druid in the opposite team. So, very typical team is like half melee. Usually it is Bowazon, Hammerdin and Bliss swords. So in order to face this kind of team, you will need to stack up cold resist up to 225. So in this case I need to take out 160-60 and I wear 40 with 120-45, and you need to have 2 Raven Frost, and in order to stack to 225 cold resist is good to have 3 red boots. Also, if you have, you can use different gloves which has cold resist on it. And let's see, with this setup I already have 172 cold resist. Of course you need to take out stone, because stone provide 60 cold resist. Yeah, it is important to have 225 on the both side. So if you have 225 on the both side, this 60 cold resist, it will be too much. You will have more than the rules allow. So in order to avoid that, I just wear spike thorn. Yeah, I wear spike thorn, which provide 20 damage reduce, and I put 15 all resist Night Dex jewels inside. In this case we have like already 172, so the rest you just use small charm to stack up to the 225, or you may use also open wounds belt, which have cold resist on it. So here with open wounds I already have 202. For the team, you know, melee plus blitz swords, you still need to have a little bit of damage reduction. So I will prefer to have Verdungo still, and I stack up cold resist with charms into up to 225. Okay, so let's move to the next team. For example, they have fireball swords in their team, but without FOH PAL. I just simply wear Inferno Stride and I wear Dwarf Star, but just to have 85 resist for fire, and that should be enough. Another strange team composition is a melee team plus trap scene. So for trap scene, I just wear the normal gears for melee, and I put Absorb with Spring, and that's it. Okay, so now we move to the more tricky part, versus Elemental team. So Elemental team is like that they have FOH PAL and they have FB swords. For this kind of team composition, you will need to wear Shadow Bow, you will need to wear Nokozan, and you will need to wear 3 rest boots, and also you will need to wear craft belt, which give you like 20 light resist, and if you don't have, you just simply stack light resist charm up to 205%. And for shield, I think the best option is to have Spike Thorn or Swordback Hold. So as you can see here, I have 166 light resist and 204 fire resist. So I reached already goal for fire. I just need to stack like 40, a little bit less than 40, 39 light resist more in order to reach 205. And now the hardest team composition to fight is a 3 elemental team. They will have FB swords, they will have Beast swords, and they will have Fog Paladin. So you will need to stack fire resist up to 205, light resist up to 205, and cold resist up to 225. So in order to do that, I prioritize cold absorb. So I use Raven Frost. I use the same setup as you can see here. Cold resist, belt with cold and light, Nokozan 40, 3 rest boots, Shadow Bow. For shield, I may use Swordback or I may use Spike Thorn, it's up to you, or Lance Guard also is good. And you will have you will need to stack with charm. In this setup I will need to stack 20 something more cold resist in charms and 39 light resist in charm. So it's not that bad. So as you can see, you always wear one raven. There are no exception from that. You always have one raven, and the second ring is depends on which opponent you will face. Most of the time you will need to put some kind of absorb here, so raven or dwarf or wisps. So you will need to have this 113 strength without this ring. So you may use like the cheapest and the most basic option is just to use 2 raven. Most of the zone use 2 raven because raven provide you 20 dex, which is quite a lot of damage, and 40 mana. You will need to have mana somewhere to stack a little bit more mana, because when you multi-spam you will run out of mana very fast. But like I say, raven is like a basic option. Of course, I don't like using basic option too much, so for standard concrete melee team I use ring with damage, attack rating, dex, life, mana. You don't need strength here, you don't need resist here, just pure damage and life, mana and attack rating. To versus druid, I have the second ring, which you may use, is simply 20 dex, 120 mana. But you also, when you face druid, you also may prefer to have more life steal. So yeah, I have 9 life steal here with some dex and life, or just a little bit less life steal. You have 4 life steal here, some dex, life and mana. So as you can see, both zones require a lot of gears. You will need to have 15k of gear to build one zones, and those items here to switch for certain matchups, they are very important. They are very important. If you don't reach the resistance cap, probably you will be one-shotted by Bliss Sword or by when you face elemental team. So it is very important to have a lot of gears to switch. If you have any question, feel free to contact me. Just drop me a message. Enjoy, and see you in some tournaments and duels game.